Oh, maybe okay, I see myself. Hello? Hello, everyone. Sorry for system delay. So if you can hear me, you just type 1 at the chat box. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, then just check if you can hear me or not. So if the voice is correct, you just type 1 at the chat box. Okay, yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, then we may just start it. So today we are going to have an hour time to tell you how to prepare for our coming P4 SASMO competition. So now here is the WhatsApp group, so we can scan and join in the group. So all the information will be sent in the group later. Okay. So now this is me. Yeah, just to know that I am the upper primary team leader and the chief coach of the Think Academy Singapore. And today it's my honor for me to introduce for you about the SASMO competition. So about SASMO, there is something we need to know. So first thing is that what is the SASMO? And the second is what's the SASMO paper look like? And the third, so what's SASMO for and what's coming after SASMO in the P4 mathematics competition? And part 4, which is the most important thing, is that how do we prepare for the 2024 SASMO competition? So first thing is that we should know about this SASMO. So the SASMO, right? So it's a mathematics competition held in Singapore for all students starting from P1 to JC2, right? So you have all the different grade of students they can join the SASMO, but for each grade the papers are different. And the time for P4 is 90 minutes for 25 questions. So 15 of it are MCQs. And for this MCQ, you can see that 2 for correct, 0 for not answered, and 1 for wrong. So sometimes, yeah, for MCQs, we can guess the answer, but there's with risk. And part B is 10 short answer question, which is normally more difficult than part A, and 4 points for each question, and no minus points for wrong or not answered. So the total score would be 85 scores. So there is 15 bonus scores. That's for kids that are, because we have 15 MCQs. So if a kid happened to answer all the questions wrongly, right? So it will make the grade 0 instead of minus 15. So this is the point of SASMO, the time and number of questions about P4. And when the kid took part in the competition, the grade and the prize will be given here. So the highest is the full marks with the perfect score. And the top 8% is the gold award. So yeah, as last year we have over 1/3 of gold medals coming from Think Academy. So we know the score for gold medals very clearly. So the kid for P4, right, 25 questions for 85 scores. So the kid would get 70 or above to gain the gold award last year. I don't know what happened in this year. So maybe this year, because it's based on the percentage, so maybe the kids are better this year, so they will get higher score, the higher baseline for gold award. But yeah, 70 or 72, yeah, you can let the kid do the mock paper or the real paper to see if your kid can reach this level. So I believe so there is maybe 2 months before the exam. So if the kid now can get 60, 65 or more points by doing the past year real paper, I think they have the ability to challenge for the gold medals. Yeah, this is the top 8% gold medal. And the next 12% is the silver. Then next 20% is bronze. Next 10% is the honorable mention. And the next 50 is the participation. So you will see that, so even we only include the gold, silver, and bronze, there are top 40% of students will be able to get a prize, which is very inspiring for a kid of that age. So why the kid learn mathematics? Why the kid learn the Mathematical Olympiad? So the very important thing is that they can get achievement from it. And then SASMO, right? SASMO with a 40% rate of gaining award, it's a very good situation for the kids to enter and get their award. So know that they have ability, right? They are honored, and then they have more passions in the mathematical learning, right? So, and then what is the SASMO prize for? So for P4, we are already in the upper primary, right? So in upper primary, which I will mention later, there are competitions that's directly relevant to the DSA. So we can apply for the top 3 schools, the NUSH, the RI, the Huachong, yeah, based on the competition grades. Sadly for that, SASMO is not one of those competitions. So you can write the SASMO award, for example, perfect score or gold, yeah, maybe not silver and bronze, right? So you can write the P4, P5, P6 SASMO award on your resume, but I'm afraid the school won't take it seriously. If that, so why we attend SASMO? Because we can treat SASMO as a trail before the other competitions. So for the other competition, the question is much more difficult and test for very many knowledges about the student will learn in P5 or P6. But SASMO, right, based on the grade, so P4 SASMO is all just about what they have learned in P3 and early P4s. So many kids can get a reasonable grade, reasonable score, and reasonable awards in the SASMO competition. And the P4 SASMO can be approval of mathematical ability for P4 student, and then both parents and the teacher can determine whether the kid is suitable for the coming 3 competitions. And then this year, the registration time for SASMO start from already started actually. So started at the 8th January and ends at 11th March. And the event time is the 31st March. And the format today, as well as the last year, is pencil and paper in Singapore. So I believe, so we have already sent the registration link to the group. So yeah, maybe those are listening to this webinar have already registered for your kid, right? But yeah, I have to mention, so what if SASMO is not as important as the big 3 MOs, so why we attend the P4 SASMO? Actually, we have some reasons. So yeah, first thing is that the high percentage prize given, the top 40% can get an award, which can inspire our kids. And secondly, we can evaluate the children's learning abilities and achievement at certain stages. So I believe that if we want the kid, so we just coming after the GEP, which all the kids will take part in the GEP. But I believe only maybe 10% of the kid will stick on the mathematical competition and for DSA. So how to judge whether our kid is this 10% or not? SASMO is a good trial. Also, yeah, this is not only based on parents, but also based on teachers and schools. So we know that for P4, another important competition is the NMOS, right? So in some school, all the students can attend the NMOS, right? So through the school registration. But in other schools, so this is more common in the GEP schools. So they just select the elite student in P4 and only allow them to enter the NMOS test. So how to prove our kid is the best? SASMO is a good opportunity. So if you can get a SASMO gold or full scores, then you can use this grade to ask your teacher to let you join the NMOS test. Also, after SASMO, students who get a gold or above have the opportunity to enter the C mode, which is the second stage of SASMO, which we held in the August, which is international for all the East South Asia. So Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Hong Kong, Chinese Taipei, they will all join the C mode, an international event. And also there is a group called the IJHC, so which is a starting group. Sometimes something like a starting group. So they will invite those who have an excellent grade in CMOC and SASMO to join them. And they will offer opportunities of studying, so maybe in the Ivy schools in America, something like that. Okay, now this is what is SASMO and the reason we attend the P4 SASMO. And then we move to the SASMO papers. So actually, Think Academy have researched all the past year papers. And based on that, we have trained hundreds of students to get full gold medals and full scores last year. So in this area, so I hope you can remember everything I've said. So the first thing is that the structure of papers. So we analyze the SASMO questions by modules. We can see that the most important part comes from the word problem, combinatoric, and calculations. All the three takes a quarter of the papers. And the remaining 1/4 is divided into number theory, geometry, and contents. So this differ a lot from the big three MOs. So for NMOS or for RPMWC, number theory and the geometry are the most important. But for SASMO, it's not, because for P4 SASMO, they're based on what they learned in P3. And in P3, the most important thing is the word problem and calculations, right? And then, if we classify all the knowledge points and select those who test very frequently, so we have this around 10 points that is almost tested every year. So for word problem, it's page problem, calendar problem, sum, difference, and multiples, and accession and shortage, which the kids should be familiar with. So they are all, so many of them are the GEP type of questions. So we just experienced the GEP, so I believe kids are all familiar with this. And for combinatoric, it's the cryptarism, addition and multiplication law, which should also be included in the counting part, and the logical reasoning. So very interesting. So if you see logical reasoning, so this can not only be called the frequency point. So each year they will have not only one, but some years 3 or even 4 questions about logical reasoning, which is very, very important. So there are several different types of logical reasoning in the SASMO P4. So mainly it's about the true and false questions. But though the question differs, the method is almost the same. For example, for all the true or false question in SASMO, you can always try to assume someone speaking correct or wrong. And by the assumption, you can easily get what you need for the answer. So this is what we will tell the kids about. So as the question type repeat and repeat each year, we just master the certain method, we can get this year's paper easily. And also by finding the patterns and in calculation, so there is a fraction calculations, arithmetic sequence, sequence patterns, define new operations. Which very interesting. There are 3 questions in 2025, but not frequently tested in recent years. So, but we can prepare with it, which is not that difficult, and it's also a GED type of question. And the geometry is easier because there's no triangles, only pyramid and area of rectangles. And then, yeah, about counting, we just count figures. You count the triangle, count rectangle, count the angles, count segments, something like that. And the number theory, the easiest part of it, the divisibility, and it's only about simple numbers such as 3, 9, 2, 5. Yeah. So the complex divisibility such as 7, 99, something like that are not included. So we can see that there is a regular pattern coming each year. So as long as we master all this question type, and we master all the key methods of solving this problem, I believe kids will have no problem in getting gold medals. And they, if they are good enough, they can even challenge it for the full score. But anyway, full score is not that easy because men always make mistakes, right? Women made mistakes as well. Okay, now these are the math notes which we concluded from the past 10 years paper. And we can see some examples of real questions, and we will find that the questions here are not as difficult as we saw. So now that, for example, this is the question 24 of 2016. So my first question is, so read the question. So if there is a kid, so maybe parents as well. So just tell me, if you see this question, can you tell me what type of question it is? So what type of question is this one? We have learned this before, right? Anyone tell me that? What's the question type of this question? So no one? Yeah, such a pity. Yeah, this is a typical page problem. Yeah, in Synchrony, we teach this in P2 competition and P3 MHA. Yeah, so I believe so all our students will know this question and also know how to solve this. And this is not that difficult. So even it's in question 24. So totally there are 25 questions, and the question 24 may be the most difficult 1 or 2 questions here. But still, our kids are able to handle this. Or maybe we can see the easier one. So for the patterns, right? So for the patterns, for the number here, what's the relationship between number and figures? So this is a very interesting question. So that is, so if I ask maybe P3, yeah, ask a P3 student, they have the opportunity to solving this. But even if I ask a primary 6 or even a secondary 1 student, still, they may not get what this question is asking for. So the pattern finding is not about ages. So it just depends on maybe your calculation ability or how familiar you are with this number. For example, so you will see the number here are all the square numbers, which is the breakthrough point of this key question. Yeah, so now this is something that the SASMO was about. So not about how many you learned, but what is your ability really about. So this is a little bit different from the NMOS, actually. So NMOS just want you to learn as many as you can. But in SASMO, you can see some questions that to test your abilities or your talent to be accurate. Yeah, also about the fraction calculation and fraction word problem. And this is just the basic type of fraction calculations. So as long as you have learned this, so you will be able to solve this. But you should learn in advance, because if you just based on the school stuff, a primary 4 school will not tell you this. So this stuff are taught in the P5 in school, right? So if you want to prepare for SASMO, you need to learn in advance for a little bit. But yeah, not that many. So this is what the SASMO questions look like. So as I have said before, so all the SASMO questions, they have certain patterns. So if you want to prepare with it, we can start from doing the real papers. And you can, so if you find a certain type of questions difficult, you don't know how to solve this, yeah, you can ask your teacher for help. You can listen to or run through, or you can take part in the sprint class. We will help later. Okay? And then the third part is that we just finished the introduction of SASMO, but as we have entered P4, I believe it's our duty to tell you there's more competitions just beyond the SASMO, right? So there are big three MOs, which is called the NMOS, RIPMWC, and SMOPS or APMOPS. And besides this, there are so many competitions for Singapore primary school students to enter. So we have the timetables. In January, we just finished the AMC8 last week. So I believe some P3 and P4 students enter the SASMO and enter the AMC8. And one of my P4 students, only P4 students, so tell me that he could solve 22 over 25. So the AMC8. And in March, late March, is the RIPMWC. April, along with the SASMO. So this year's SASMO is the last day of March, right? So, and then it's the SASMO and SMOPS, May, June, July, and August. So for each year, there will be a certain competition, maybe. And then for P4, the three important things, SASMO, NMOS, and AMC8. So I don't know, so is anyone entered this year's AMC8 last week? So if anyone, you can type a 1. Am I here? No. I believe it's not. Never mind. So in so the SASMO and NMOS and the big 3MO, which is coming after, the NMOS, SMOPS, and RIPMWC, they can only registration by invitation, unlike SASMO. SASMO, we can register as individuals, but so for these three competitions, only school can invite you to join. This is the most important and most difficult competitions in Singapore, and the grade here is directly relevant to the DSA application. And in P4, maybe we can try, and the most important among the three is the NMOS. And here are the timelines, the milestone in the upper primary, which I expect all students in my class to get. So I expect them to reach the P4 NMOS goal, P5 to get the NMOS top 20, and P6 to get the smallest platinum, which should let them to be the top 1, at least top 1% of Singapore. This is the requirement of students in my class. But for normal, normal definition of good students, so good competition students, so maybe P4, we get a silver in NMOS, P5, we get a gold in NMOS, and P6, we get gold in SMOPS. So even this will be able to grant you an opportunity to enter the DSA route. Not guarantee you to just pass the DSA, but you have the opportunity to enter the test. So now this is the milestone in upper primary. So if we want to take part in the competition route, so this is what we should care about. But then, as you can see, so I've mentioned only 10% of all the students are suitable for the mathematics competition. So is our kid one of this kind? So how to judge it? So I believe this question comes back to our SASMO. So you will see that, so the future NMOS, we have 5,000 participants, but only 80 students among them will get the gold medal. So you can calculate the rate. It's far below the percentage for SASMO, right? So this is not, it's not a place for kids to gain confidence. So this is a challenge, right? This is a challenge. Also, if you see the questions for NMOS, both the calculation, geometry, and counting, so it's far beyond the P4 or even P5 SASMO. So it will include many things students haven't learned yet. So Even they learned, they should make adjustments or make the good application of what they learned to solve the question properly. So if SASMO, right, SASMO is open for everyone, then NMOS is a game for those who are good enough. Then question come back. So how to judge our kid is good or not? I believe SASMO here. So I define P4 SASMO a ticket to the NMOS. So for 3 reasons. The first thing is that, so the P4 SASMO can check whether the kid is suitable for MO. As I mentioned before, as I showed you before with the pattern question, right? So the SASMO have some questions that just test the kid's talent and ability in mathematics, in mathematical Olympiad. So which means if you can get a good grade in SASMO, the kid have the ability and high opportunity to enter the school. And secondly, so if the kid can pass SASMO to get a gold, means they have a thorough basis of the mathematical Olympiad which before the primary 4. So then they can start here to get fully prepared and move to the next level, the NMOS level or the RIPMWC level. So by learning a lot of things, just starting from now, or maybe not from now, from the moment you get the SASMO grade, right? Maybe in the April, yeah. And then we can prepare for this year's NMOS, next year's NMOS, and then the RIPMWC in the P6. Yeah, you remember the timeline I listed before, right? Also, yeah, I mentioned, so the SASMO grade is a proof for you to gain the invitation from school, especially for P4 students. So not all P4 students are able to enter NMOS. But if you have a SASMO gold or SASMO full score, I believe your school teacher will let you in. So this is why we call P4 SASMO a ticket to NMOS. If you can get a P4 SASMO gold, which means you can start to prepare for your NMOS. But if not, you are just a silver or bronze. This does not mean that you are not gifted. Maybe you just need a little bit more training. But yeah, it's up to you. You can just choose the kid to just focus on the PSLE route. Anyway, so the DSA only take 10% of every year's P6 to secondary 1. So other 90% just enter the high school by PSLE. So PSLE is not bad actually. So, but if the kid have ability, maybe we gave them the opportunity. Okay. And the last thing is that how do we get fully prepared for the 2024 SASMO test? So I mentioned before that all the questions in SASMO have a certain patterns. So to get a good grade this year, we should know well about the questions in past years. So now, starting from the February, we will hold 4 live streams online for real paper run-through. Also, yeah, the kid can get all the past year questions just in our group. So we have joined the WhatsApp group, and we will send all the past year papers in the WhatsApp group. And then, yeah, kids can finish the questions on their own, but yeah, we will help them by holding live streams. So 4 weeks, each week we have 1. We just run through all the real paper questions and tell you how to solve the certain type of questions. Tell you not only the answer, but the method. And then we will have the selection test, or AKA the mock test for SASMO. Yeah, this is a mock test, but also it will be a selection test for our spring class. So this year, we will have spring class only for the gold above students. So sorry for that, but we only invite those who have the ability to sprint for gold or full score to enter this class. And the class will start in the 12th March to 15th March, so during the school holidays. And just the 31st of March is the SASMO event. So this is the timelines in Think Academy preparation project. And for the real paper run through, so if you you can scan and join the SASMO preparation group, and we will send you all the real papers. But yeah, to ensure, right? To ensure you have the best preparation, so we don't directly give you the answer. So the kids should finish the paper first, and then PM our teachers to get the answer. So we have experienced that if we just give the paper and answer together, we cannot ensure every kid just finish the paper. So sometimes they just put it aside or just check the answers to see, yeah, I seem to be able to do this question, so I don't do it. No. So to ensure all students joining our project to have the best preparation, so we ask students to finish the paper first, then to get the answer, and then can join our live stream for run through. So be sure to finish the paper before the run through. So I have the run through timeline here. So the 1st of February is we will run through the 2022 paper, and the next week is 2021, and the 2 weeks after that, so skip for the Chinese New Year's, so is the 2020, and the last week in February is the 2019. So be sure to ask your kid to finish the question before the live stream, and then listen to the live stream with the questions. Also, right, so I mentioned there is a gold medal spring class. So firstly, we will hold a selection exams, and which is just based on the SASMO mock exams. So the total format would just exactly be the same as the SASMO. And the mock test is free, and we invite every student who are interested in the SASMO to enter. And from this exam, the kid will get an experience, the true experience of the SASMO, and then the teacher will send you the exam report. The report will include, so where is correct, where is wrong, and so the teacher will give you the advices of how to prepare for the coming SASMO, and the week based on the kid's weak point, maybe we will give you some extra practice to help your kid understand. And for those who get relatively good scores, we will invite you to our gold medal spring class. The class will be held in the school holiday every day, one class. And we will include geometry, number theory calculation, combinatory, and word problems. So in the class, we will run through both the real paper question and the extension question based on. So last year, so from our spring class, so maybe not 90, so maybe 80, more than 85% of the students will get silver and above. And this year, so as we only invite those who have the ability to get gold medals here, so we expect an 100% gold rate in the spring class. Okay, now this is what we need to know about SASMO, what we need to know about Think Academy SASMO preparation project. Okay, now this is all for today. Thank you. And if you have any questions, you can ask your question in our WhatsApp group, which is here. And our teachers will answer your questions 24/7. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, can end now.